Well, some interesting news coming out of Canada this week, but there's three that I'd like to highlight. Firstly, an economist talked to Bloomberg and told them that the Canadian economy is on life support. You heard that right. Life support. And that because our economy has been shrinking for the last 3 quarters in a row and is expected to continue to shrink for the 4th quarter in a row, we have now officially been put on recession watch. Manufacturing is down 5%. Our GDP per capita continues to fall, and our economy has grown at a record 1%. Yes, but I mean, Mark Carney did warn us that there were tough times ahead, that we needed to sacrifice more, and we'd probably have to dig into our savings. Right, but not Mark Carney, no. See, some great news for Mark Carney is that Brookfield, his $6.8 million that we know of in investments, as well as the fund he created that it continues to grow, will mature at the high end of up to $1 billion bonus. Brookfield has announced this week that it has recorded for 2025 record-breaking profits. Yeah. And that because of these record-breaking profits, they have been able to increase their dividends to their shareholders by a 15%. Just 15% alone on $6.8 million makes Mark Carney for 2025 a dividend of at least $1 million to more, depending on what the dividend was originally before the 15% increase. But yeah, so it's really coincidental that Mark Carney becomes prime minister in 2025 and Brookfield gets nuclear power plant deals. They get the deal to rebuild Ukraine, manufactured homes, so many contracts from within Canada, and they all of a sudden, the year Mark Carney becomes prime minister, record the highest profits in their entire existence. Yeah, and you know what? What's really funny that since Mark Carney's making all of his money off of creating policy, kind of like he said in the UK, and his position with government now, Mark Carney he's not satisfied there. So the last little bit of news is that despite all of this, despite food inflation, despite lining up at food banks in record numbers, despite Canadians not being able to afford either the rent or keeping their lights on, the government of Canada and all of the MPs are set to take yet another automatic raise on April 1st of this year. And the Canadian Federation for Taxpayers is estimating that automatic raise will be about 4.2%. Yeah, so Canadians are struggling. Canadians need to sacrifice more. Here's a grocery rebate for about 12 million people that'll give you about $8.50 a week. Won't buy shit, but your guys are struggling, but we're gonna go right ahead and take that extra pay raise. Yeah, because we need it. So I suggest conservatives do the right thing. Bring a motion to the House of Commons and put it forward to stop automatic pay increases for MPs for, say, the next 3 years until the budget, inflation, and pricing and affordability can be taken under control. Because with it being out of control, you don't deserve a raise. The government, especially the Liberals and Mark Carney, do not deserve a raise.